Hey everybody, I'm JJ, you're watching Reality Survival. And so today we're gonna talk about the 5 biggest lies about preppers. I did another video about the 5 biggest lies about prepping. So this is gonna be the 5 biggest lies about preppers. So number 1 on the list here is preppers are paranoid and scared. I hear this a lot, why are you guys so scared about everything? Dude, we're not scared about anything because we're ready for pretty much whatever comes, right? We're in way better situation than the vast majority of people out there. We're not paranoid and we're not scared. We're realistic because we see that things happen around us all the time. Forest fires happen, tornadoes happen, blizzards and snowstorms with power outages happen, pandemics happen. Food supply shortages happen. Elections are stolen and corrupt governments instituted. There's just tons of different things that you can point to that actual things do happen that cause problems. And so it just makes sense to try to examine where you live and what the possible outcomes are that could affect you, and then be ready for those. And as you prepare for more and more of those high probability, low impact disasters, then you become even more prepared for the low probability, high impact disasters. And you work your way up this chain until you get to the point where you're pretty much ready for whatever comes, or as ready as you can be. Nobody's ever totally ready, but you're as ready as you can be. So that's number 1. We're not paranoid and we're not scared. We're just trying to do what we can to have our family be safe and secure in uncertain times. That's it. Number 2 is preppers are hoarders. Hear this a lot. Everybody talks about how preppers are hoarders and they're always, going and getting stuff and hiding it away so nobody else gets it. Well, that's not true. First, hoarding is a mental disorder, and all the preppers that I know are very sane. Now, there are some insane preppers out there, I'm sure, and there are some people who are hoarders who might be involved in prepping. But the vast majority of preppers are people who take a look at the supply chain system that we have and say, you know what? I think this could potentially break down in a pretty easy way. And I understand that the just-in-time delivery system for our grocery stores only has about 3 days worth of food in the grocery store. So if there's a big emergency, they're only going to have about 3 days worth of food. If for some reason the trucks can't get to the grocery stores to deliver, I'd like to have a little bit more stuff on hand so that I can, my family can stay safe and stay healthy for a longer period of time. So I'm going to stock that stuff up when the supply chain is good. So preppers, like when there was a toilet paper shortage in 2020, preppers weren't running out to the store buying toilet paper. They already had it. They bought it when there was plenty of toilet paper on the shelves. And they didn't have to be panicked. They didn't have to be worried. Preppers didn't contribute to the toilet paper shortage in any way. It was all those people who didn't have anything and didn't plan ahead that caused the shortage. So, preppers are not hoarders. They think about the system that we live in and they try to react to it in a way that makes sense and is rational. So, there you go. That's number 2. Number 3, preppers believe in conspiracy theories. Now, there are a certain percentage of preppers who believe in conspiracy theories. And maybe they make up 20% of the prepping community. I don't know. Maybe it's 25. But it's certainly not the majority. The majority of people in the prepping community don't believe in the nonsense, all right? They just don't. And they're not crazy. They're not, doomsday and all that kind of stuff. They're not, all QAnon followers. That is a small subset or a small fringe of people who really just don't know any better. They're not educated. They don't understand the world that we live in, probably because they've never actually functioned in the world to any high degree. And if they read one little thing on the internet somewhere, they can be easily swayed to believe it. Okay, they're weak-minded people. but they're not a big percentage of the prepping population in general. The vast majority of the preppers don't believe in nonsense, okay? All right, next one is number 4 is preppers are anti-government and they want to see a societal collapse. Not true at all. The vast majority of preppers that I know are very much pro-government. However, they want government to be constitutional. They want government to be limited to the size that it's supposed to be limited to, and they want government to function in a constitutional way so that they're not, putting tyranny and being dictators and all those kinds of things. They are pro-government. They just want the government to work the way that it's supposed to work and not in some tyrannical fashion. As far as wanting a societal collapse, I think preppers have probably spent more time researching what societal collapse looks like than any other group of people. And any normal and rational prepper can tell you, you don't want to see society collapse. It's ugly. It's really ugly. And it takes generations to recover from that. And they don't want to see that. Unfortunately, when they look at the potentiality of different kinds of disasters happening, they understand that it might happen. And so I'm going to get ready for these things that do happen on a regular basis first. And then if something else happens that's bigger, then I'll be more ready for that. Okay. Let's see. Number 5, preppers believe that a collapse will be all or nothing. The doomsday preppers, so to speak. Again, it's a small portion. Small portion of people think that it's a doomsday scenario, right? The vast majority of people who are into prepping are people who, have regional issues that make them say, I better be more prepared for some things. My wife recently just had an event where, she got stuck on the side of the road. Another car came by and there wasn't enough room. Her tire got caught off the edge and it sucked her off the road, and I had to go get her and pull her out. So we're prepared for that kind of thing. I keep toe straps and stuff in my vehicle. She keeps shoes, warm shoes and socks and a heavy coat and stocking cap and stuff like that in her car, and so you're prepared for that. When you live in an environment where you might have, severe winter situation or something like that, you prepare for it. Anybody who, like we talked about earlier, like the just-in-time delivery system, anybody who gets groceries in the United States should think about having extra food on hand, because the system that you use is a broken system and it's not reliable during times of emergency. If you live out in the desert, you should have water, those kinds of things. Like, there's just lots of different regional reasons. If you live Tornado Alley, have a place to go and shelter if a tornado comes. If you live in a place where there's forest fires, have the brush cleared away from your home and all those kinds of things. Like, there's lots of different stuff, that preppers focus on that doesn't have to do with the end of the world. The problem is that the TV show Doomsday Preppers was what I say is the best and worst thing to ever happen to prepping. It exposed a lot of people to the concept of being self-reliant and having a level of preparedness, but it also made all those preppers look stupid, and that negative stereotype has followed the prepping community for a long time, even though it's not really applicable. So anyway, that is my 5 list of the biggest lies about preppers. I would love to know what your 5 things are. Put those in the comments below. Click the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. 90% of people who watch this channel are not subscribed, so it would be very cool if you subscribe, especially if you're on Rumble. We're trying to build our presence over there on Rumble. And check out the website, AmericanPreppingAcademy.com. Got lots of content up on there already, and we're loading up more all the time. If you sign up for my email list, I'd really appreciate it. Just make sure your pop-up blockers are turned off, and you should be able to enter your email address. So other than that, don't forget to live 6 P's. Prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.